just another stitch. For those that don't know me, my name is Connie, and if you're new to my channel, I'd like to welcome you. Today I will be showing y'all how to do the bobble stitch. It is a very beautiful textured stitch, and I really love textured stitches. As you see, it kind of pops out. So that is what we're going to learn how to do today. Okay, so in case you're interested, I am using a number 4 weighted yarn. I'm using Big Twist yarn, but really pretty much any yarn should be fine for doing this stitch. So we are going to start with the slip knot. And if some of these basic stitches, if you're not comfortable doing them, I do have tutorials in my crochet tutorial playlist that can help you get more practice on those stitches. Alright, so I did the slip knot. And for the chain, you are going to want an even number for the chains. So I am going to chain 10, since 10 is an even number. Okay, so let's get started. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, so we have our chain done. So now we're going to start the first row. Okay, I'm going to use a smaller hook now. This way it's easier to get in that chain. I find it can be awkward doing your stitches into the chain. So okay, there are actually 2 ways that you can crochet into the chain. Some people will do it from the top of the stitch, or you can turn it over and you can see these little bumps, and you could do your stitch through those bumps. This is the method I learned, is through the bumps, and I'm more comfortable with that method, so that is how I will be doing it. Okay, so I'm putting my hook back through, and one thing I am a firm believer in is using stitch markers to mark the start and the end of the row. It makes your life a lot easier, and especially if you're new or newer to crochet. Okay, so for the first stitch, we are going to be working a single crochet into the second chain closest to your hook. So that's your first stitch right here, the bump. And then, let's see. And right here, this is our second chain, right here. So that's where we're going to be working the single crochet into. Okay, so you get your hook through that bump on the chain, okay, like this. You yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, okay? And this whole row, you will be doing single crochets into each chain. So here's the second one. Okay, you see you have it through like that. Yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops. Okay? And you just keep doing single crochets until you do them in each of the stitches, and we will meet back up at the end of this row. Okay, we have finished the first row. And one thing I want to point out, when you do that first row, you will have an odd number of stitches. I did a chain of 10. So I now have 9 stitches, okay? And for those that aren't familiar with what a stitch looks like, it looks kind of like a heart. And it basically has the 2 loops like that. Okay? So that's our first stitch there. Our second stitch is right here. Third stitch. Fourth stitch. Fifth stitch. Sixth stitch. Seventh stitch. Eighth stitch, and ninth stitch. Okay, so like I said, we now have 9 stitches, and now we're going to get into the 2 repeat rows. Okay, so the row we just did, you're not going to be repeating. All right, so we chain 1, turn, and I'm going to put that stitch marker at the start of the row. Okay. And you're going to skip the chain that you just did, and you will work into the first stitch. I'm turned around here. Okay. All right. So you're going to work into the first stitch, doing a single crochet. See right there, there's the first stitch, yarn over, pull through the base stitch, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops. Okay, this is support that is more complicated, but it really truly looks harder than what it is. Once you see how it's done, it really is very simple. Okay, we're gonna do a bobble, and what you're doing is you're crocheting 5 double crochet stitches together into 1 stitch. So right here, the next stitch is where we're going to be, oops, I'm trying to get it right here. That's where we're going to be working into. Okay? So you yarn over just like you would a double crochet. You go into that stitch. Okay? Yarn over, pull through the base. Then you yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay? And now you have 2 loops remaining on your crochet hook. You see 1 and 2. Alright, you're going to yarn over again, and you're going to go right back through that same stitch. Okay, you yarn over, pull through the base, you yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So now you have 3 loops left on your hook. 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so we're going to yarn over again, go right back through that same stitch. You yarn over, pull through that base stitch, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now you have 4 loops remaining on your hook. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. You're going to yarn over yet again, go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now you have 5 loops on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you're going to yarn over again, go through the same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Okay, so now you have 6 loops remaining on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to do one final yarn over and pull through all 6 loops like this. Okay? And you want to give it a good tug. So that is the bobble. And don't worry, we're going to get some more practice on it. Okay. So now we are going to do a single crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to keep alternating between the bobbles and the single crochet stitch. Did I get it? No, I didn't get it all the way through. This, hold up, I don't have it, sorry. Okay, that stitch was being difficult. Okay, so I went through the next stitch, I yarn over, pull through the base stitch, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Okay, now we're going to do a bobble in the next stitch. So you yarn over, you go through that stitch, you yarn over, and you pull through the base stitch. So now you yarn over again, pull through 2 loops, and again you have 2 loops left on the hook. Okay, then you yarn over, you go through that very same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now you have 3 loops left. And remember, for the bobble, you're always going through that same stitch. Okay, so you yarn over again, go through the stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. Now we have 4 loops left on the hook. Now you yarn over again, and you go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So now we have 5 loops left. Now you yarn over, go through that same stitch again, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So you now have 6 loops left on your hook. Yarn over one final time and go through all 6 loops and give it a good tug. Okay, so the next stitch is going to be a single crochet. So we go through that next stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Okay, we're going to do a bobble stitch in the next stitch. So you yarn over, go through that stitch, see, through the stitch, yarn over, go through the base, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and you have 2 loops remaining on your hook. And if you've noticed, the bobble, it really is basically like you keep doing double crochet stitches without finishing them, where you're doing 5 of them together basically. Okay, so now we're going to yarn over again, go into that same exact stitch, yarn over, go through the base, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. And now you have 3 loops remaining on the hook. Yarn over, go through the base, yarn over, pull through the base stitch, yarn over, go through 2 loops. And now we have 4. And if you notice, each time we get 1 extra loop each time. So we're at 4 now. yarn over, go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. So now we have 5 loops left on the hook. Yarn over yarn over once again, go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, go through 2 loops, and now we should have 6 loops left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You yarn over that final time and pull through all of the loops, and you give it a tug. Okay, so the next stitch is going to be a single crochet. So we go through that next stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through both loops. Okay, so now we're going to do the last bobble stitch of this row. So we yarn over, and we go through the next stitch right here, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. So we have 2 loops on the hook. Yarn over, go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and pull through 2 loops. Now we have 3 loops left. Yarn over, go through that same stitch, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. Now we have 4 left on the hook. Yarn over, go through that same stitch, yarn over, go through the base, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. And now we have 5 loops left on the hook. Yarn over, go through that, yarn over, go through that stitch yet again, yarn over, pull through the base, yarn over, and go through 2 loops. So now we have 6 loops remaining on the hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you yarn over one final time and go through all 6 loops. And then you want to give it a tug. So we're going to take our stitch marker out of that last stitch. Okay? And we're going to work a single crochet stitch into that last stitch. And the last stitch on the row with the bobble stitches is always a single crochet stitch. So you yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through the final 2 loops. Okay. So one thing I do want to point out is when you do the row with the bobbles, you are on the back side of your work. If you turn your work over, that's where you will see your bobbles, and this is the front of your work. Okay, so let's go back where we were. All right, so now you want to chain 1, turn your work, add your stitch marker back. Okay, so you see right here before the bobble, that is your first stitch. Okay, then you will be putting a single crochet stitch into the stitch on top of the bobble. Then if you notice in between the bobbles, you got the stitch right here. Then again, the next stitch is on top of the bobble right here. Okay, so all we're doing is single crochets, and this is the second row of the repeat. Okay, so we go into that first stitch, do a single crochet, And like I said, now we're going to go to that stitch on top of the bobble. See, this stitch here. And you single crochet into it. Now you want to go into that stitch between the bobbles. Okay? So right here. Single crochet. Now you go to that stitch on top of the bobble. See, this is the stitch right here. Right there. Now you do that stitch in between the bobbles, single crochet. Now on top of that bobble, we will be doing a single crochet right here. Okay, now a single crochet in the stitch between the bobbles. Now we're going to do a single crochet into the stitch on top of the bobble. Okay. And now we're going to be single crocheting into that last stitch, which is right after the bobble. And I'm going to remove the stitch marker. That way it makes it easier. Okay. So that is basically all there is to doing the bobble stitch. You just keep repeating those 2 repeat rows until the desired size of your project. And isn't this just gorgeous, that stitch? So if y'all have any questions on how the bobble stitch is done or anything, if y'all having trouble with the stitch, please feel free to contact me and I will do my best to help you. So I hope y'all all enjoyed today's tutorial, and I hope y'all are all having a fabulous yarny day. Be the light, and bye.